think a lot of that comes from, James is clearly a lifelong Nazarite and more, and John is certainly that, and I'm sure Jesus was too. I have no doubt that if we can find Jesus, he has to be. These guys didn't have it wrong. Between John and James, if there's a Jesus, then he's not going to be, Paul. Paul didn't even exist at this time in Palestine. It's a Romanizing transformation. In any event, you have to decide that. I'm just giving you the arguments for what about Nazareth. Finally, there's another thing. Nazareth actually is based on a different root than Nazarite. Nazareth is a TZ in Hebrew. And you see, in Greek, it will be transliterated probably the same as Nazarite. I have to check it out. But TZ versus Z. It says Zion versus Atzadi. How many do Hebrew in this room or have done any Hebrew? It's a different letter. Z versus Z. I know it's tough, but it's a totally different. Sadiq is TZ. Tzedek is TZ. I think of one that Zion is just Z. It's hard for anyone who doesn't know the letters in the Arab-Greek framework to picture that. And certainly someone in the Greco-Roman world would have no idea about any of these things. Now there's another thing. There is the netzer, the branch. That's TZ. That's a messianic ideology coming from a lot of scriptural prophecies. So then you have the word that came out and developed in Hebrew and in Greco-Roman transliteration, Jesus the Nazarene. That doesn't mean come from Nazareth. Jesus the Nazarene does not mean, it's really Jesus when you usually see it, it's Jesus the Nazarene. Jesus the Nazarene. It can mean Jesus the branch if you want to do the TZ, or it can mean Jesus the Nazarite if you just want to do the Z, or it can mean Jesus the keeper. The keeper, linsor et habrit, to keep the covenant. And there's another. I know it's a little bit complicated for you, but there's another synonym for this. We have two synonyms. Linsor, the root is there. This is the L is the infinitive. NZR is the root. And then you have lishmor. The root is SHMOR, to keep. Shomer. I'm Shomer Shabbat. I keep the Sabbath. Shomrei Abrit, keepers of the covenant. The sons of Zadok in the community rule are twice designated as the Shomrei Habrit, the keepers of the covenant, those priests who keep the covenant. It comes from Ezekiel 44. I shall give my temple over to those who keep my covenant, the sons of Zadok, and I'm going to get rid of these other priests who let foreigners into the temple and uncircumcised people and so on. Read Ezekiel 44 and the behavior in the new reconstructed temple, and you'll get the whole basis for the keepers of the covenant as the definition of the sons of Zadok at Qumran. So also, Yotzrei Habrit is the parallel to Shomrei Habrit. Which is keepers of the covenant. They're both keepers of the covenant. Anyway, it would behoove the writers of a gospel of this kind to confuse that issue, whether it's Shomrei, Notzrei, Habrit, keeper of the Brit, or the Nazarite, to make it a geographical designation. Often, as I said, that's done, and we'll see it in John. And the first miracles are done where in John? The marriage, in where? I think it says Cana of Galilee. Is that what it's called? I'll go back to that in a minute. Cana of Galilee. I'm going to go back to John in a minute. Cana of Galilee. I'm not sure whether the Cana is in there, but Cana is Canaan also in some of the gospel lists of the apostles. But Canaim. That's a Hebrew letter, that one, an ayin. Canaim. Or no, it's an, pardon me, it's the other way around, it's an aleph. Canaim. Zeal for God. Zealots. Cana is zealots. And also, interesting enough, Galileans in church literature are zealots. Judas the Galilean is the founder of the Zealot party. So the Galilean party is often a synonym for the Zealot party. So Cana of Galilee, to my mind, is also a double synonym. A zealot connotation transformed into a geographical location. Now, in my mind, I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg. I'll have to go to that thing. But that's another example of watch the geographical locations. Remember, if you know your Gospels, when Jesus is on trial in the Synoptics anyway, and Peter is out warming himself by the fire, and the Roman soldiers, or whoever they are, come and ask him, do you know this man inside? Are you one of his companions? I hear you speaking Galilean or something. And he says, no, I'm not a Galilean. No, I'm not a Galilean. I don't know him, or something like that. But he denies being a Galilean, not just denies Jesus, I think he denies being a Galilean. I don't remember the episode. You'll test me 3 times. Now, the question is that a geographical location or the identity of a sect of zealots? So this transformation of names of groups into geographical locations is very widespread in these materials. Now, how accurate it is or inaccurate, none of us were there. You'll have to determine. I'm just throwing it out to you as something that you need to pay attention to. Okay, so that's enough about the Gennesaret then. I think, again, if you're looking for the origin of the word, the geographical location, Nazareth, it is Gennesaret. Can I give you one last thing on that? And you look in Eusebius, in early church literature, you'll find a tradition, I think it's from Julius Africanus, that the Messianic family came from 2 towns. That the descendants, the Dispasanoi, in the early church literature that Eusebius calls, and he's good for what he calls, as a person he's a complete maniac. Despasini, I think it is, anyway, that's right. Actually, our word despot comes from that. It's a Greek word, but it means the family of the Lord in this sense.